Hello, I'd like to talk with you for just a little bit as an intro and orientation to your brief study of copyright info and fair use and attributing your sources properly and everything. And to help with that, I've created this Symbaloo web mix. Along the bottom are sources of photos that you can use for your students or with your students. We'll come back to that in a minute. Then along the top, I've collected some sites that I'd like you to take a look at. Actually, this one right here, the copyright guidelines. Oh, and you'll notice that, just a word about Symbaloo, I've pulled several tiles. I think you can get up to 6 in one of these. Several tiles into one bigger tile, which, as you can see, you click on it, it opens up, and here are these things. These are where I started, and I got a lot of my information from this website, this crash course on copywriting. It's a good spot. Lots, as you can see, lots and lots of information. But over time, I sort of whittled that down to these things over here. And between this one and this one here is where I'd like you to spend most of your time. This thing on fair use, even with this, there's this tile, perhaps this one, but these two tiles will give you the information I think you need to get the best look at how do you use other people's information or pictures and other stuff properly. So you're going to learn about fair use, what that is in here. And I won't take your time with it now, but read through this and this tab, and then how to get permission and so forth. And then you'll go down to this one, this 4-factor test, although I also have that as a separate tile. I just did it that way. I think this is really a good one to help you summarize what tends to be a lot of nebulous kinds of ideas about what you can do and what you can't do. They refer to these 4 factors. What use are you going to make of the thing that you're copying, that you're taking? A photograph, for instance, or some video or whatever. Are you going to use it as a teaching thing? For instance, I've got something on football here to show you. But the NFL, if you've listened to their games much, at some point during the broadcast, they'll say, the rebroadcast or use of this NFL game is strictly prohibited without the express consent of the National Football League. Well, okay, so that means you can't use that stuff unless you are going to pull up a video and talk about some aspects of the game. You're critiquing things, or maybe you're talking about how sports broadcasters talk, or the kinds of camera angles that sporting events use, or whatever, or a parody, as you'll see in just a minute. And the idea in these tables is that things more to the left end of this are more likely to be okay for you to do without permission. Things over on the right-hand side are less likely for you to be okay without written permission. You can see that some work that is really out of some person's head, that's been created by an artist or whatever, is pretty hard to use without that person's express permission. But if we're talking about facts of history and so forth, which you might think of as more public knowledge, public domain, then that's easier for you to use without permission. I'll let you work through this. Pay attention to that. And I won't spend any more time on it. But over here, let's see, codes of best practice. that could be useful depending upon the medium that you're working with. And here's a story about students who didn't pay attention to copyright issues. I don't know if you're familiar with bad lip reading. This is just mostly for fun. But here, the bad lip reading people took NFL game footage and they've changed the use of that footage so that it's a parody. It's just for fun. It's just silliness. And we won't watch the whole thing. It's pretty hard to watch it without losing it here.
Look at my golden hair. Called that, didn't I? Hey, I'll flip for you. Yeah, I'll flip for you. This wall is magical. You can't touch me. My neck.
Okay, so I won't spend any more time there. It's a great waste of almost 6 minutes if you have some time later on you want to look at it. I'll close this and go back to the Symbaloo. So bad lip reading people can get by with using NFL footage because they're really changing the nature of the use of that. Instead of being an entertainment medium for just the football game, now they've turned it into just some real silliness. And so that's a transformation of that footage, which they can do. All right, down here at the bottom are a bunch of images or sources of images, which I'd encourage you to spend some time looking at. I will show you, I forgot one thing before I do that. On this one, attribution resources, how to, let's do this one, best practices, is a really, really good summation of how to properly attribute a photo or something if you're going to use it on your web work or even just in print. You include the title of that, if there is such a thing. Who did this come from? Who's the author? Where did you actually get it? And under what license does it come from? Creative Commons. And if you put all of those underneath your photos, for instance, if that's what you're attributing, then you're probably within the law in doing just about any of those works. Let me show you an example of what that might be like. So here under Visual Hunt, if I start searching for a scrub jay picture that I would like to use, here's a good one. I'll click on that. Now, what this tells me is the license over here. This person, Donald in Portlandia, this photographer, has put this on the website and said, let people use it, but here are the conditions. You have to attribute it, say that you got it from Donald in Portlandia. You cannot use it for any commercial application, and it's okay for you to make modifications. Sometimes on Creative Commons they'll say you can't make any modifications. And here's what we mean by a modification. Oh, one other thing that's cool about Visual Hunt is that they give you right down here the way to attribute that. So I'm going to copy this image because I might be wanting to do something about scrub jays, and I'll paste it here on a Google Doc. On this document, by clicking on it, you'll notice I can crop the image, and I think I might want to get right down here and really focus on this beautiful bird's head and the fact that there is a little wasp in there and its mouth. and I'll click outside there, and there's my image. And so that's what I'm going to use. Now I've modified that. I've transformed it to use the language of all this copyright stuff. I've transformed it, but back here, let's see, this person said it's okay to put make some modifications, and I'm going to copy this stuff down here, copy that, and put it underneath this pic, put it right there. And I'm also going to add, oops, sorry about that, modified from original. And maybe I'll make this all in the same Arial font and make it all, let's say, size 9. And there we go. So that would be a way that I could attribute this picture to Donald in Portlandia. Here's where I got it from, and here's the Creative Commons license. Non-commercial, that's what the NC stands for, and share alike, which means, okay, I've made a modification to it, but now when I post this for other people to use, I have to give it the same sharing capabilities. I can't restrict anybody's use from it, use of it. And so I have to use the same sharing agreement that Donald in Portlandia set up. Okay, that's the kind of stuff you're going to be reading about as you go through this web mix. And then these are great sources of either copyright, totally copyright free, or things that are kind of easy to use as long as you attribute them properly and everything. Okay, and I expect that you're going to spend maybe an hour with all of this. There is no written assignment, nothing to hand in as a result of doing this. It is simply for your learning and hopefully understanding and being able to use with your students. All right, that's all for this one.